Hi, this is Malaika. Welcome to my YouTube channel. You'll notice that most of my content is very different from this video. I am a yoga teacher, a yoga studio owner, a doula, which is a birth companion. I'm also a creative entrepreneur. So I'm managing a lot of things in my life and also trying to have a really balanced, healthy life. And that's why I started using the bullet journal system about 2 years ago. This system is great because all you need is a blank notebook of any kind and a pen or many pens. Bullet journaling was created by Ryder Carroll. Since he created it, many people have adapted it, including me, to suit their own lifestyle. So I'm showing you how I use bullet journal, but I recommend that if you're looking to implement this system, you start small. Start with 1 or 2 things that you like about the system and then slowly build from there. If you want to see more content like this video, subscribe to my channel. You can hit the little bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. And comment below if you want to see more bullet journal videos. In particular, which parts of the system would you like to see explained in more detail, or would you like to see examples of? Lastly, before we jump in, I'm letting you know that I'm filming outside. I wanted that natural light, and also this is where I usually do my bullet journal kind of overhauls. So if the lighting changes a bit, or if you hear some ambient noise, just pretend you're sitting with me on this beautiful veranda looking out on the Atlantic Ocean here in Grenada. So let's look at what my bullet journal for the past year has looked like. As you can see, my bullet journal is very well used. It's always in my bag so that I can jot down a note or check on things. I've added some post-its just so I know where to turn to so that I can show you particular pages. The first part of the bullet journal is the key. This is where you decide what your little symbols are going to mean so that you can track your tasks, your notes, your events, your ideas, etc. Then the index is what makes the bullet journal a little bit different from just having a regular notebook, because you can put down what is actually in the book so that you don't have to keep turning the pages to find each thing. Now, I'll admit I don't usually keep this very up to date, but now that I had to go back through the book to make sure I knew what I was bringing forward, I did a second batch. So usually I do it in batches. I tend to have a future log that just in pencil I kind of give a sense of what is happening. This was for last year. This was last year, October 2016, and so usually for the month I'll have a little page that just brings us into the month, and a monthly log is often like now it's a gratitude log, but then I was trying to write 1 sentence a day about each day. Obviously, I don't always do everything that I set up to do, and that is okay. I think the big part of bullet journaling is reviewing, coming back to it, always starting over again. I tend to do a weekly setup, so for this week of October 10th last year, I kind of put my main categories of work and the goals that I wanted to get done, and these little arrows show you that they didn't get done that week. I moved them forward to another week. At the time I was also tracking my money in my bullet journal, but now I use an app for that called Tosho. Sometimes I'll put a quote to guide me, or just as an inspiration every time I look back at this page. This is how I track each day. Now, this was very elaborate, kind of elaborate and very neat. It's not always so neat. And this time I was also experimenting with color coding. So each day that I put the heading, I put the color that would mark the tasks for that day. So the idea at a certain point here was that if, in this case down here, orange was the color of the day and these 3 things actually got done on that day. Friday the color was green and these 3 things got done, but so did these 2 from Thursday. I don't really use this system anymore, but I'm actually thinking of re-implementing it because I usually have a few colored pens on me, and so it would be a good way for me to see how much I'm getting done each week and on each day. Other things I use my bullet journal for. So those kind of are the main pages that recur, but I often have packing lists when I'm preparing for a trip just to give me a sense of what it is that I want to pack. I take notes or do brainstorming. This was from a retreat called the BU retreat when I was in the UK. I offered yoga at the retreat, but there were also some really nice workshops. One of them on goal setting was this whole system of identifying what your vision was. This is when I was going to relaunch my blog. And so what was the first step? What are the goals? And then pulling one of those goals and breaking it down here. It was very, very helpful, and having these kinds of brainstorms in my bullet journal are really quite great. I also use it to just, on top of tracking tasks, I'll just put a note about something incredible that happened, you know, just to get a sense of what is happening on each day. I also use it to plan my yoga workshops. And that way, you know, sometimes I would prefer to have my notes in a notebook instead of on a laptop or on an iPad in the yoga studio. So I will track it this way. This was my first time creating a portable vision board in my bullet journal, and I loved it. This I did earlier this year when I was also working as part of a yoga retreat in Mexico with Sarah Clark, and she and I, on one of our down days at the end of the retreat, did our own vision board since she was guiding vision board workshops. So this kind of gives me a picture of my birth work, finding my mentor, finishing my yoga therapy program, practicing love, connecting to my highest self, etc., etc. So it was actually very nice to have this with me in my bullet journal. Wherever I went, I could check on my vision and reconnect to it. So here we have another example of how I use my bullet journal for tracking or preparing my yoga classes. Sometimes I just want to have quick notes and reminders of what I want to focus on in the class. And then here's an example again of how I would do a weekly spread. So just priority projects, and I put the different categories or topic areas for my tasks and then fill them in as I go along. So this is a header, and this is one of the months that I didn't really follow up. This was August, and it was carnival time, and I traveled, and so I did all of this, and then I didn't really fill it. This is part of why when I'm tracking my habits, I'm not going to do it monthly anymore. I think I'm going to do it each week, put the little tracker in to keep me on task. And then I also like to collect things. This was a sketch that my mom did, and I asked her for it because it was just a scrap paper sketch, and so I put it in here. And so the bullet journal is a little bit like a scrapbook. Now this is one of the things that I am definitely taking over and is new for this month. I have my monthly page for October, my gratitude log, which is not doing too badly, and then this I'm really, really excited about. This is my October focus spread, and it's a way of me identifying these are the things I want to meditate daily, I want to journal daily, I want to spend more time with my fiance, my dog, you know, the different areas of my business, the people that I want to connect with socially, just so that I can see all these things in one place. Sometimes we really prioritize work things and not so much our self-care or home life, and I love bullet journaling because it's a way of putting all of that in one place. So this is a new spread that I'm definitely taking with me into my new bullet journal. So with that, it's time to move into the new one.